Good afternoon. Welcome back. What a day so far. What a blast of a day. Sunny out. Lots to do. Looks like most people took my advice. All got out of here. I don't blame them. I do not blame them. From the opening action, you knew today was going to be a nice day just to not watch. Look at this. Down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. And here we are at close. Quite the day. Quite the day, but that's offered a lot of opportunities for those that have been in, and also for those that just didn't watch. Watching price action today, you would have gotten in and out of trades so many times that it still goes to show how short-term volatility is not the whole thing. And every one of these candles is not the whole picture, right? I'm going to show you the daily here. We're doing very well in these last 2 days of buying. When you think of what we're expecting of a breakout consolidation and then this breakout, buying all over here as much as we can, and you look at the entire market. So we just looked at the Dow. Dow Jones is certainly leading. I mean, it's just not even close. Value is, look at S&P is still not even over this high, still racing back. Again, it's 0.5% away from the all-time high. It's right there. But the Dow is still it's much further ahead in terms of value. SPY looking awesome, over 1% here. Small caps doing very well still. Again, it opened up a lot higher, so you're not going to get as much movement, but it's still up percent-wise, right? Almost 1.5%. And then the Nasdaq, you would think, oh, it wasn't doing very well, and now look at it here, right? Put it on close. All of this buying here at close, Mobsy said in chat, seems like over the last couple of weeks, there's been a lot more chances to buy at close. It's because of this short-term volatility, right? If we don't have this short-term volatility, it's just this trend, and it is very hard to get back in. And that's why I talk so much recently about this idea of it's this volatility that allows us to make the bet that prices are going to be making a move, or directionally make the bet that they're going to go to the upside. And so this allows you to do something. Imagine if you don't have this. Doesn't it seem great that you can have this pullback and then have this bid here? Doesn't it feel like it solidifies the idea that prices are going up more than if it just trended, if it just was a straight line? This actually helps so much more with that. I mean, that's just really how it is. We see this in every market. That's just how price works, right? So very bid in the market, even on the average, which, again, the average has been doing, again, it's been a little bit confusing because it's like the average has been doing very well, but it's very easy to be in some trades that you're getting, beat up on. Because again, there's been, the market could be break even, and then you could be in a ticker that's down 10% or something. That's just being in the wrong place at the wrong time, right? And that will happen, right? You have to get out of those positions. This is so much bid at close. Again, hands are off the wheel. I've already bought, we've already bought everything. If you're now just looking to buy something, again, you should have just stayed out in the sun and keep sun drinking or whatever the hell you're doing. Because now it's kind of silly to go, oh yeah, sure. That's literally, you're betting on the same thing. You're just betting at a different point. So what's the question, right? Whether you're looking to buy something now or earlier, it doesn't really fucking matter. It's the same thing as when you bought over here and then the market came down again and then it went back up. Who fucking knows, right? Who knows? Anyway, I mean, I haven't been watching the price action. Obviously, Viacom and Discovery today were hilarious. This downward move. Just again, a word of note. We knew back over here on this day that there was an offering. I think I saw some people in chat that said they didn't see the offering and stuff. Guys, on this day here, on the 23rd, we knew there was an offering, okay? So, again, nobody was, even if you waited till this day to get out, of like if you had some long position from down here, that it's silly. Again, anything we're doing down here is just dicking around and buying at the bottom to have some fun. Obviously, I increased the position. It's still dicking around, okay? Nobody was in this position still over here. And we had already been exiting, and I talked about the 2,200% over here, right? When it came so quickly, we took it. Again, this pullback, we did buy it. And then it obviously turned into gapping down 9%. That either stops you out or you're taking profit, right? That's just how it works. Now, this trade has turned into just a fucking nightmare for people. We were buying down in this dip. While it was dipping down, I averaged down further, loaded up the position. It's really easy to average down when you start with a small position and then increase it like 3 times. Makes it a lot easier when you put more money behind something. I'm holding over the weekend, FYI. I just went back down to 0 on that position. I went back down to 0, and now I'm going to be up. Let's see. It looks like I'll probably be, let's see, maybe around 6 or 7 by close. We'll see. We'll see what that finishes at. I'll take another screenshot for the, if he's still in, I'm still in, proof of concept. And there, I mean, at this point, you have to take into consideration, and I'm not trying to just meme, and yeah, maybe the drinks have got me here, but the reality is that you got to think about elasticity. You need to think about what we know about gamma. You just had about a 100% increase in contracts, about a 100% increase in calls, right? There are now significant, like, again, double the amount of calls. What's going to happen? Fucking underlying is going to get bought, and it's going to be psychotic. It's going to be psychotic. Now, if it doesn't continue to move, then it'll dump really quickly. Sure. But it's the weekend. It's the weekend, and no one can do anything over the weekend. So I'll trust my ability to trade at Monday open over other people and realize that it's very likely, it's a much higher probability that this is going to be up on Monday because of what's happening with all the contracts down here. You can already see it in price. Is this how people fucking trade a ticker that's down like this? Is that normal people trading in here? Are these institutions and funds trading this right here? Like in like a trading sense of, oh, let me go long because it's dipped here, and let me buy. I don't fucking think so. Yeah, right. This is mayhem that no one really understands what the fuck they're doing over here, right? So again, you can look at the bet I put on and think it's fucking stupid. It is a fucking joke. It's satire. It's a joke. I would put that money to something else that doesn't have as much risk. But you know what the reward is on something like that? It's deep fucking value GameStop dumb shit kind of thing, right? It's literally stupid. So if I have the chance to post something on Reddit, then sure, I'm going to do it when I get the chance. Right now, I would say there's a fucking chance because this is silly. It's really just silly. Again, it's the system and the way we do it, and we knew over here. You know what I say about selling? If you're going to sell something, then you sell it all immediately. Look at this whole week. That's not how it works. That's not how you sell. That's not how you sell. There's going to be buyers here. Whether this consolidates at the beginning of next week or not, I think it's going to be so much fun. And again, it's a bit of a joke, guys. Calm down. And when would I ever buy right in here? That's so stupid. Yeah, I have support, fake support from like a year ago. Chill. Anyway, some of our great trades that we've been having, things like X. Again, I talked about industrials being very bullish this week. Value is just killing it, and again, it's so funny to see today with like short-term volatility bringing us up and down. How if you were just in value, none of that fucking matters. You can go out to lunch, drink with your friends, come back at close, and you look at your positions. X is up 11.5%. I mean, I'm gonna take some of this profit. Like I'm gonna cover everything and take some of the gains and push about half of it over the weekend. Again, if you just to those of you that don't know with a minute left, very much this is Monday. This is Monday 2 Mondays ago. So you had Friday and then Monday. You're still gonna open higher. You'll get more points on it, even if it does that. And then you want to be able to push things over the weekend for the chance that it continues, right? I'm just taking some of the gain because it came so quick. Those of you that saw it, again, you get the 100% so quick. 100% on a significant trade, you have to take that money. Like there's no such thing as pushing that much money over the weekend. So again, I'm gonna be taking some, but I'm pushing a lot of it, right? Pushing about half of it. Home builders continue, obviously great trades. What do we get? That's it. Let me see after hours on Viacom. Then we'll break it down. Going to be a quick breakdown. if this goes green, uh, let's see. I don't know if we're going to see it here because it's probably dark pool orders. I think that there's probably going to be. I think somebody posted it already that they said that the trading wasn't insider information or something. If this goes green at close, like a lot, like over 10%, there's someone's getting in trouble because again, the way the selling worked here is very strange. Is very strange. So in the way it's connected with the other tickers, I would say that if this goes up like 10% by Monday open, again, that's kind of what I'm betting on. But if this goes up by 10% or something by Monday open, someone's definitely getting in trouble for whatever was going on in here, right? Just a FYI, because some silly trading. We don't see it here. Discovery's down. Again, that makes a lot more sense. That makes sense. Viacom's break even. We're not going to see it there. I'm not going to look at those. But I was just interested to see if we saw it immediately, like the volume hits immediately, then that's just, you're just making it way too obvious at that point that whatever got, purposely pushing price down to go scoop it is illegal. So anyway, value trades. Unbelievable day again today on the value side. X really being the forefront. Home builders was a big part of what we've already sort of talked about. That was a very nice trade. FLR is the other industrial side. And then as we go through things like when we go through some of these, let me like put into context. So for instance, we talked about light here, right? I talked about the breaking through, the resistance here, how you would manage this trade and how I talked about this. This was the example of not taking profit that's resistance, I said, right? This is probably something to keep in mind of how you, again, I'm not going to murder anybody or criticize anyone over taking profit here. But I talked about this a little bit as open as it started to happen here of how what we're really looking to do is be able to push these trades further because of the context and why they're going up, right? So again, we got a little bit of confirmation of these ideas as it continued towards close and the whole market really continued. So the good confirmation of risk on mentality, everyone buying. I think a lot of people in the market, and from what I've seen on Twitter and stuff, they don't really understand what's going on. So they think like the dollar going up is bearish. They think yields going up is bearish. Like they just don't actually really understand what exactly these things mean because they've only seen it correlated one way. They've only seen the dollar going down and that makes the market go up as a correlation. They've only seen yields being low and the markets being up as a correlation, right? And so then as soon as these things flip, they think it's correlated the other way and they think that those things are connected. This is why I've talked about this a lot recently in understanding that even months ago when I talked about the dollar, we already knew that this was risk on dollar. I talked about over here. I talked about this breakout here and talked about how this was risk on dollar. We understood when this came back down. This is because, again, of the value side rotation. But I talked about it over here. We know that this is connected to growth getting beat up, right? This is connected to growth getting beat up. But I continue to talk about how this does not stop the equity market from going up. It's very easy to use this as a correlation and not be buying at the end of this week. We've been buying everything. This does not tell us not to buy it. But I've seen a lot of people, and probably most people in the market, and maybe even funds, that think that because these signals are signaling to them that they shouldn't be risk on in the equity market, then they're not. Again, look at the fucking market here. Imagine how difficult it is to now buy. We've been buying here the last couple days, right? Imagine how hard it's going to be to buy over here come next week. That's a hard trade to make. All of us that have been able to buy down here, and again, you don't need to again, fuck hindsight capital. We're not doing hindsight capital here. We were just here. We were literally just here in the moment doing it, right? And so we're buying here for an expectation of risk on and that the market is overselling. These different things that we've already talked about. Again, at least we have all of that and we do it live, right? It's there. We have charts. We understand the value side. But what's going to happen here is think about Monday. How do you do this on Monday now? You're trying to now go long. Yeah, it's the same thing. It's just short-term volatility, and everyone can expect that things are going to trend up. Sure, but how do you manage the next dip that comes down? It's very hard if you buy up here, right? What if you gap up on Monday? You gap up on Monday and then take profit from there. How do you do anything? You can't. But those of us that are in position are going to, again, by just being in a position and taking advantage of that time where value or prices really increase in after hours, not so much in during intraday. Now, we've been getting great intraday moves, and you've had a lot of chances, which is obviously very nice. But it's really that pushing over overnight and over the weekend, and then continuing that trade and getting in on other people's fear that obviously continues to pay. It's just, this is, again, it's a proof of concept and what we're trying to do, and that's buying on these supports and rolling with it. We understand the macro side and we understand the flows, and we're going with it, right? That's it. That's really what it is. And so things like energy here, right? Now, I've now seen this chart posted from other people, which I find very interesting, that posted this chart fucking the beginning of March and nothing happened for weeks. And then I find this chart posted multiple times today. So Hindsight Capital kicking back in. We have been trading CNX for a really long time. For a really long time. Now, oil and energy is a newer phenomenon with the energy side of things, right? When we first really started to get into the energy side and taking this trade over here is not easy. Now, of course, Hindsight Capital, and I've talked about this, same with travel, is going to say, well, duh, of course you should have bought down here. We were not buying down here because of good reasons. We're trying to preempt a move. This thing could have gone back down. There was no guarantee, absolutes or anything, and we even understood that this day was fucked up because the canal still blocked. There's some, again, it's really important to realize that just because you might be in profit does not mean because you made good decisions, okay? Or good, good trades. If it's following rules, then that's one thing. Almost all trades that we made this week broke rules. How many times did we wait for price to pull into our support? Fucking like maybe 10% of the time. We were preempting moves non-fucking stop, okay? We were not waiting for price to pull into support. We were trying to get that shit well before. So again, it's really important to realize that we broke a lot of rules this week. So anyone that was saying that they were following their rules and that they expected this to happen because of things that they saw is, again, an example of this hindsight idea that, oh, it looks so easy after it's happened. We were just here trying to do this shit in the moment. It's fucking hard, right? It's not easy. And so, again, when you look at some of these things, it's so simple to look at them and say, oh, I had an idea and a chart on that, and obviously that's it. That's not how it is at all, right? It's really not fucking like that. Taking this trade here on FRO, again, this kind of shit, this is not very good. We have a support here. This is not very good trading to take these trades. We're taking it because of a risk-on idea in the equity market, and we're taking a macro side of things and saying, you know what? There's short-term volatility, and this may not go up, but we are betting on things to go up in the future because they always have. We're not making decisions off of just like the charts I even post. These are macro ideas, right? And these are big ideas. And so again, we're not being perfect, and we're not going to ever say, oh, well, this was up. I knew that for fucking sure was going to happen. It's so silly. And again, it's not good because we need to keep being consistent and disciplined on the trades that we make. And so again, we're going to celebrate good trades. And when we do things correctly, but those trades in which we do something like this, we bought semiconductors down here. These were not good trades, guys. These were bad trades. These are not good trades. Look here's our support. When did we buy? We bought like 5% above our support. Maybe not 5%, but above our support, and we're buying semiconductors and shit to preempt a growth move when we're long. Like I said, 90% of my portfolio is value. The nightly news play, the Dow, and all the value things with banks and energy, REITs, travel. It's not growth. We've been trying to preempt growth, and so then something like this today, it's so easy to be like, well, see, I told you. That's why I bought at the low. No, I would never fucking tell you that because I know myself that it's a bad trade. It's not, again, you got to stay disciplined and realize that when we're taking these trades, okay, the value side of things is a very high probability trade. It's a very, very small chance of a downside. It's just not something that, let me put on the Dow, and I'm going to go to the recent tickers. The Dow, look at the fucking Dow. Look at the tickers today. When have you ever seen the Dow look like that? Never. Probably never. Probably never. It doesn't really ever look like that, right? Look at the tickers up here. Some of these names and some of the things that happen, right? INTC, taking this trade down here, right? Is that a good trade? Is that a good trade yesterday? It's not really a good trade. It's that we're betting on the whole fucking thing to move, right? We're literally betting on the whole Dow to move. It's not that the timing's going to be good. We didn't know that. Again, we're betting on these things to happen. You don't know what's going to happen. So again, I want to make sure that we're staying in the lane. I want to celebrate good trades, and I'm going to look at the profit section in a minute. And you know, if there's profit and stuff, then awesome. Because the whole idea this week was to fucking buy everything. I've said it multiple times: buy everything and anything, right? Specifically value, but even growth this week we were aggressive. But I just want to make sure that when we look at something like this, we don't do the hindsight thing and be like, well, yeah, that's why I did that. Duh. No, that's not how it works, right? And how many times do you feel bad during the downside? Did you know it was going to go down too? Like, again, these kind of things are not good, and I just want to make sure we're being careful with some of those ideas, because now when we go into next week, like, we can look at these charts and be like, oh, this is fucking obvious. And yeah, I'm long the Dow, and I'm fucking glad that I'm making money on this play and it's working. But it's also important to, when we're going into next week, that we continue to be critical in our doing analysis and doing these things, and not doing the, well, duh, this is going to be, it's just going to keep going up, obviously. Like, these kind of things will not help us. And so any mentality that we use of, well, obviously we bought at the low, like, it's just, you know what I'm saying. I'm not sure how to articulate best. The last thing I want to show is the last 2 weeks of tickers. These trades in most recent charts are great. I'm really I'm glad about some of these breakouts that we've got. These are not, again, these are tough trades, but I think, again, I've talked about this in the last, I would say since November, that the most recent charts are the most bullish. These breakouts, everyone is seeing these ideas so much more. It's one thing for me to post a pattern and talk about what it means, like in terms of like behavioral economics and how this pattern will lead to something. That's literally all I'm doing with patterns, right? When I put a target, I'm literally just talking about how people will react to certain levels and the way they trade around patterns and what it means, why they're trading it a certain way. But if you look at the charts most recently, again, like since November, every single time there's a breakout occurring, it continues, like, much more than not, right? And that doesn't usually happen. So again, it's like the market is seeing these ideas a lot more, even in times like this, where it starts and then we start to trade down, but we respect the idea a lot. And it's interesting when you look at some of these charts, the way in which they react. This is very much, these charts right here are very much how these patterns usually work, where it's like a reaction thereafter, and we can still use that because we're monitoring it. But again, most of the recent charts have consistently been breaking immediately, right? Like, I would still call this immediate. It's within a couple, again, it's not even close to the target, it's making the move already. These kind of ideas, I think, is important to realize that it's interesting to see the market taking breakouts more seriously, because again, it has been happening. And again, when you're at all-time high, that's what you do. You don't have much supply in the market. Everyone takes the breakout trades because that's all there is, right? But obviously, we did a lot of pullback buying, and we got paid for it. Things like BJ here. How many times have you guys mentioned like this chart, right? There's always an opportunity, because look at climbing the ladder. You can do this trade multiple ways, right? Very nice trades this week. W was an interesting trade as well. That's a tough one there. Again, buying this here. How are you gonna? What are you, a mind reader? What do you fucking know that shit's gonna bounce right here? Like, we were just buying it because we're just buying everything, right? It's not like I'm specifically looking at where the option chart is. No, it's never that fine tuned, right? So just again, no one's perfectly ticking anything. I bought a bunch of this shit at the low. I'm gonna snip it here. I'm gonna look at profit, and then we'll get the fuck out of here. I'm going out, having fun in the sun. It's about 80 degrees in the city right now. I'm sweating my ass off. I need to get some goddamn shirts, that's for sure. Some thin ones. Okay, here it is. This is being pushed. I mean, I obviously didn't do anything with it, so here it is. Put it in the Costa Nostra. There it is. Proof. Done. That's what it is. All right, profit section. Okay, there's not much in here, thank God. C Trader with the 1300, roaring back with a gain. O'Brien earlier had $80. He's going on a hike right now, so he must have checked his mobile device for P&L. The Spoon, 7%. The bounce back last 2 days got me slightly above. Really learned a lot about my confidence, timing, and stretching rules. Awesome. Glad to hear it. Chris with the 5%, the bounce back as well. After getting beat up all week, he says. Absolutely. We all got beat up all week. I think, again, if you guys didn't see what I made for comments earlier about risk is painful, right? Risk is painful, and it's going to fucking hurt. It's going to hurt in the short term, and you're doing that again for what's going to come thereafter. It's really important to remember that there's a reason why you pay a premium, and there's a reason why you pay for risk, right? That's the whole thing we do here, right? Now, here, okay, I know we're looking at this chart right here. You're paying for some risk. You're going to be in pain on this trade, but wouldn't it be a lot of fun to get a lot of gains right here? Wouldn't it be a lot of fun? And wouldn't it feel really good, be pleasurable? You can be down almost 7,000 here and then be up what? Another 30K, right? How much you could double it if I get 100% on that trade? That's 60. That's another 30,000, right? Imagine doing that from a really stupid trade and you didn't even do anything, right? Now, outside of those, that's just a meme. In terms of the broader market, like I said with this, like the Dow here, you get this great gain here. You get a great gain, and again, on individual tickers, this is a lot of percent. It's a lot of points. You're talking about multiple 100% trades here. And then this week, it hurts. It's painful in the short term. But again, what are you doing here? You're pushing through this and making trades and buying more over here when we have signals to do so. And it might hurt in that moment to get stopped out multiple times. But you're taking on that risk in that short-term pain, again, for the reward that's going to come thereafter. Not always is it going to come. Not always will that reward be there, right? That's why we try to perfect our craft and we try to get better at it so that more times than not we get that profit. But if you're not taking those risks and not making those trades at the lows, then you're not getting any reward, right? Those people that are not trading right now, they didn't get anything. And those people that are going to be chasing, they're not going to get as much. And they're probably the ones that are going to get beat up for it, right? So again, you have to take that risk and that pain in that moment for that gain that comes after. And this is why not every day is going to be a green day, right? Not every day is a green day. And it doesn't matter what the market throws at you. For your P&L to be green or red, none of that things matter. It matters where you're going to be, right? We can all hope that we're all going to be continue to make millions and be doing well, right? That's not how it's going to be. We're not going to get lucky. We're going to have to keep doing it, right? And that's where we're always going to be looking to move forward and not doing the hindsight thing where when we're looking back on trades and saying like, we can of course say, oh, I should have done that, but you need to remember what it was like in that moment, right? And that's where the FOMO thing, I don't want that to catch anyone here. The same thing where, okay, we've been saying buy everything every single day, and we're trying to do it. And so now it's really easy to be like, well, shit, I really wish I did that. You don't need to have FOMO because it's not going to stop. This whole thing, price doesn't just stop all of a sudden, right? How many times do we do it? We do this every fucking week. We're up and down every goddamn week, and it's the same feeling and the same thing every time, right? We're doing the same thing over and over. So even those of you that didn't make money this week, and obviously a lot of people haven't shared, and obviously some people lost money because, again, that's how it works. Not everyone, if you're average, you're not going to make money, right? And it takes a long time to be above average, right? It's going to take a lot of work, but those of you that missed out on things, I would say there's definitely a lot of things you could have learned from this week. And it's not to say in hindsight, I wish I did that. It's what can you learn from that so that the next time you do it, right? You're gonna see that a lot of us had to take on some risk and make some painful trades. But now look at us. A lot of us, most people aren't even fucking here because they're out drinking, having a fun time. Most people are having a great day so far. Didn't watch any of their P&L. You want to be like that? And I'm gonna fuck off here in a second and have a good time. Then you're gonna need to make those tough trades too, right? You make those tough trades so that now you can enjoy your weekend. I'm not going to think about my trades. I'm not going to think about anything. I'm going to have some charts later this weekend, but Again, that's what it's about. The success, even those of you that didn't make money, again, you don't need to think about it in that sense. If you learn something, then that's a success. Again, success isn't always gauged by profit and loss. I like to gauge my success on if I'm fucking stressed out of my mind and if I'm having fun or not. You can be stressed a little bit during the week, but I'm going to have a lot more fun this weekend to make up for it because I know I made some good trades and learned a lot, right? We had a good time, right? It's about the enjoyment you have and doing things. And I think this week was a lot of fucking fun, even though it was rough going in the sense of we were going long and it took away from our long positions, but it's fucking money. And now look where we are. We have completely transcended the week so far. And where we're going, it looks like we're going further. So future looks good for the bullish case. Risk on is on. If it wasn't going to be the case, guys, it would be the same damn thing, okay? Even if the market was down, be doing the same damn thing. It's nice out. Don't let it dictate your goddamn life, your freaking account, right? You didn't make money this time, you'll make it next time. Keep learning. Have a great weekend, everybody. Enjoy your nights, your evening, your morning, wherever you are. Enjoy the weather if you're here on the East Coast. 80-degree weather. If you're in the cold, stay warm. I'll see you guys next week.